President Obama had promised to repeal the Don't Ask, Don't Tell law. Where does that stand today?
Actually, what he's trying to do is impose on the military a new law, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender law, LGBT law for short. It is quite a radical piece of legislation. It would affect all branches and communities of the military. It would pretend that sexuality doesn't matter because everyone would have to accept sexual minorities as if there was no difference. It's the same thing as saying that military men are going to live with military women in conditions of little or no privacy, and we're all supposed to pretend that it doesn't matter. Well, it would be very harmful to the military, and Congress should not vote for the LGBT law.
Well, why hasn't this actually happened? I mean, as I said, President Obama did promise to do so. He does have Congress, in his hands, in essence. What is preventing him from fulfilling that promise to the community?
More than 1,000 flag and general officers for the military who signed a formal statement to the president saying we support current law. We do not want it repealed. We do not want it weakened. 51 of these retired gentlemen and officers are 4-star retired. These are distinguished military leaders. The president has not been able to get around that. But the pressure is indeed on Congress, and a lot of confusion about current law still remains. But let's just look at what it actually says. The military is different than the civilian world. There is no constitutional right to be in the military. If you impose a new law saying you must accept lesbians, bisexuals, transgenders, whatever, in the military, whether real or perceived, and you make that law retroactive, you've really got a very radical concept. Now, the first thing that would happen is an increase in sexual misconduct issues, because we already have them between men and women. People are not perfect, they're human. You're going to have new kinds, though. You're going to have male-male incidents and female-female incidents. You're also going to have a corollary policy which says if you disagree, you cannot stay in the military, because it's being proposed as a so-called civil rights issue. The people who would be immediately affected would be the chaplains, because chaplains and people of most major religions do not support the LGBT agenda. All of these things would happen in a way that would harm recruiting, retention, and readiness, the 3 R's. That would do devastating harm to the all-volunteer force. And we have to remember, this is the only military we have. So we have to be very careful. We cannot allow the culture of our military to be so radically changed and harmed. And oh, by the way, there is not a single solid, convincing argument for repeal of the current law.
What happens to the president's support from the LGBT community if he does not get this repealed?
They will just have to realize that you don't fool around with the military, you don't use it as a venue for social engineering. They are a minority of a minority, the activists behind this bill. The majority of people do not support it. The majority of people in the military are even more supportive of current law and opposed to repeal of that law.